determining the components of a velocity vector. Okay, first, try to observe our diagram here. Okay, so what do you see? Very good. Meron tayong 25 meter per second and 43 meter per second. And it means dalawang klaseng vectors or velocity yung involved natin dito. Okay? And then we have also here 50 meter per second. And both of them are in the quantity of velocity. Then if you can observe, merong Vy, meron din tayong Vx. Obviously, pag Vx, it is in a horizontal. And pag sinabing y, it is in a vertical component. And ano yung itong block natin? Okay? Sige. So, yan yung ating i-discuss. So, first, what is vector resolution? It is the method of taking a single vector at an angle and separating it into two perpendicular parts. Okay, actually, there are two parts of a vector that are known as components, and they describe what? The influence of the vector in a single direction. Okay, kanusa lang man ni siya mugawas na diagram, okay, or free body diagram. If the projectile is launched at an angle to the horizontal, then we will expect that the initial velocity of the projectile has both a horizontal and a vertical component. So again, makita lang nato ni ato ang free body diagram if naka-launch ang ating or the projectile is in a case of launch at an angle to the horizontal. Okay, now, so since gi-discuss naman ito ganina that there are two components, that is the Vx and the Vy. So pag sinabing Vx, that is our horizontal velocity component. It means displacing the projectile horizontally. Obviously, it is in horizontal. Pag sinabing vertical velocity component, ito din, no? Or Vy, it what? Displacing the projectile vertically. Okay? Horizontal, vertical. Now, the analysis of a projectile motion problems begins by using the trigonometric methods. Okay? So, remember trigonometry. Trigo. Study of angles, okay, sort of like that, no? So, why it is important that you have to know the basic of trigonometric methods? Because it helps us to determine the horizontal and vertical components of the initial velocity. I know that you are so familiar with the word SOHCAHTOA, okay? So, sine, cosine, and tangent. Gagamitin natin yan para sa ating extraction ng Vx and the Vy. Okay, now for an example, we have here 50 meter per second at an angle of 60 degrees above the horizontal. So we can describe that the horizontal velocity is 25 meter per second and the vertical velocity is 43 meter per second. Again, in this diagram, what is the horizontal velocity? Very good, that's 25. How about the vertical velocity? Very good, that is 43 meter per second. Okay, so by constructing a sketch of the velocity vector with a given direction and then using trigonometric functions just to determine the size of the velocity triangle. So, asa na triangle diri, ma'am? Kana triangle man siya. So, remember, kaning longest side, that is our hypotenuse, no? So, actually, pwede na ito na siya na-solve, ang hypotenuse or our velocity, dili po na siya ginatawag na horizontal po siya vertical. It is velocity lang yun ang pangalan, ano. Okay? Sige. Now, for example, we have here, same problem pa rin natin. So, bakit cosine? Okay, remember the cosine? Cosine is ka, remember? So, adjacent over hypotenuse. Okay, this is our angle. So, ano ang adjacent ni 60 degrees? Very good. And then, yung hypotenuse natin, that is 50. This is our hypotenuse. This is our adjacent. And this is our opposite. Opposite is 60. Diba? Okay. Then, we have here sine. That is so, okay, that is opposite over hypotenuse. Okay, now ano yun alam na hitabo, ma'am? Remember the derivation technique na binigay ko sa inyo. Since Vx yung unknown natin, so we can use the multiply both sides. So, para mabilin si Vx, ato ang make sure in your calculator naka degree form para dili mag-usab or degree mode para dili mag-usab ang value sa inyong cosine 60. I-multiply lang 60 degrees. Okay, we have here 50. Ato lang siyang i-derive. So, cancel. So, mabilin si Vy. So, 50 meter per second multiplied by sine 60 degrees, that is equivalent to 43 meter per second. Ngano sine man diri ma'am kay Vy? Tanawa si Vy. So, siya man si opposite, and then, unknown natin si what? Si Vy natin, no? Siya si opposite, and then natin given na 50 meter per second. So, what is the point of resolving an initial velocity vector, okay, into its two components? Why? Very good. It is to use the values of these two components to analyze a projectile's motion. Okay, so anong i-analyze natin dito? Of course, we are going to determine such parameters like the horizontal displacement, the vertical displacement, the final vertical velocity, time to reach the peak of the trajectory, time to fall to the ground, and etc. Okay? But this process will be demonstrated on the next video. So, maghimo lang tag another or separate na video para ana. Okay. Now, let's try to check the time of light. Okay. What we have here in the diagram is that, okay, meron tayong time starts at 0 seconds. And then, if you can observe at the highest point, it has 4 seconds. And then, after that, we have the time of 8 seconds gikan sa pag-catch. Okay? So, natin ginatawag diri that time total is equal to 2 times the time up. Okay, now, if it takes a projectile 4 seconds to rise, so para makaabot siya ani na peak, kailangan time siya of 4 seconds, then it will also take a total of 8 seconds to move through the air from start to finish. So, from here, starting to up to here, so mo cover siya of 8 seconds. Ang half time ana niya is 4 seconds and then 4 seconds po. So kung unsa yang pasaka, that's 4 seconds and then pagbaba niya 4 seconds. Actually, the half time is 4 seconds. The over or total time is equivalent to 8 seconds. Now remember that a projectile that lands at the same height which it started, the total time of light is twice the time to rise to the peak. Okay, same height. So, the total time is twice the time. So, twice the time. So, kani daw, ang padulong sa iyahang peak bitaw, pinakataas, it multiply ni mong 2, and that is equivalent to 8 seconds para isa ka travelan niya from start to finish. Okay, now remember that the trajectory of a projectile, ito yung trajectory natin, okay? It is symmetrical about the peak. Symmetrical meaning to say, if take 4 seconds para makababa, okay? And then the total time of flight is equivalent to 8 seconds. So again, half time, okay, that's 4 seconds. In times 2 na to, that is equivalent of the total time. Now, the time of flight of your projectile is twice the time to rise to the peak. Twice the time to rise to the peak.